What if I told you the very first thing you did this morning is silently destroying your pancreas and rapidly accelerating hidden diabetes? Before you take your next sip of that warm, comforting brew sitting on your kitchen counter, there is something incredibly urgent. You need to know that could permanently change your health. I am not talking about a dangerous new pharmaceutical drug or a miracle formula, and I am certainly not selling anything. I am talking about coffee, the drink that is in your kitchen right now, and the one tiny detail that changes absolutely everything about how your aging body processes sugar. The way and the exact timing in which you drink that cup determines whether it is medicine or a metabolic poison. We are currently facing a terrifying silent crisis. Cases of diabetes have skyrocketed by a staggering 135% in less than 2 decades. Today, millions are suffering, and data from government monitoring systems shows that prevalence reaches an astonishing 30% among seniors over 65. That is 1 in every 3 older adults. It is much more than most people imagine. And what worries me most is not just those who already have the grim diagnosis, but the huge group of people who are right on the deadly edge. People living with high glucose levels, with that unexplained exhausting fatigue after lunch, with that constant severe thirst that never goes away, and who have not yet been diagnosed. Or maybe you have been diagnosed, but you do not know what to do beyond blindly taking heavy medication and waiting for the worst. If you are waking up every single morning and immediately pouring yourself a large cup of strong black coffee before eating anything, you are making a devastating mistake. This is the most common mistake, and the one that causes the absolute most harm to your delicate metabolic system. By doing this, you are forcing your liver to flood your bloodstream with excess sugar. You have not even taken a single bite of food and your glucose has already violently risen between 20 and 40 milligrams per deciliter. But do not panic, and please do not throw your coffee away. Stay with me, because I am going to show you how a very small adjustment, which costs absolutely nothing, can make a huge difference in controlling your glucose and saving your independence. Let us talk about what happens the exact moment you open your eyes in the morning. When you wake up after a long night of sleep, your body is in a very specific and highly vulnerable state. Your system produces a natural surge of a hormone called cortisol. This is often known as the stress hormone, which is the exact same one your adrenal glands pump out when you are facing a dangerous or urgent situation. This morning surge is a normal survival mechanism, designed to give you the energy to start your day. Cortisol sends an immediate signal to your liver, commanding it to release stored glucose straight into your bloodstream. But here is where the tragedy begins for millions of seniors. When you drag yourself to the kitchen and pour that steaming cup of dark black coffee on an empty stomach, you are dropping a metabolic bomb onto this delicate morning system. Caffeine aggressively amplifies this cortisol effect. It violently stimulates those same adrenal glands, forcing them to release even more adrenaline. Your liver panics and responds to this artificial emergency by releasing a massive and unnatural wave of even more glucose into your blood. Remember, you have not eaten a single bite of food yet. You are completely fasted. Yet because of this invisible cortisol trap, your blood sugar levels can violently spike between 20 and 40 milligrams per deciliter before breakfast even crosses your lips. I have seen lab results that confirm this terrifying reality in patients who continuously monitor their glucose. A study published in a major nutrition journal confirmed this exact effect, proving that drinking black coffee on an empty stomach after a night of sleep significantly increases blood glucose levels in the morning. This is not just a harmless morning routine. This is a daily repeated trauma to your pancreas. Imagine your pancreas as a tiny exhausted factory that produces insulin, the hormone responsible for unlocking your cells so glucose can enter. When you artificially flood your bloodstream with sugar every single morning by drinking coffee on an empty stomach, this little factory is forced to work at its absolute limit. Over time, day after day, year after year, your cells become deaf to the insulin. Your pancreas has to pump out more and more just to achieve the exact same effect, and that is the moment insulin resistance sets in. That is the hidden gateway to type 2 diabetes fatigue and the rapid loss of your independence. Think about Mr. Arnaldo, a 72-year-old man who had been drinking black coffee every morning since he was a teenager. He was proud of his habits. He walked regularly and tried to eat right. But his fasting glucose was dangerously high at 138, and his 3-month blood sugar average was well above the safe limit. He was unknowingly destroying his metabolism every single morning. The moment he changed this one habit, his numbers plummeted. When your blood is constantly thick with this unexplained morning sugar, it damages the fragile blood vessels in your legs and your brain. You start feeling that terrifying heaviness in your calves. You notice your memory slipping just a little bit more each month. You start wondering if you are losing your mechanical independence. It is not your age. It is not genetics. It is the hidden cortisol trap triggered by that innocent-looking cup of coffee. Your body is screaming for help, and it is time we finally listen. Now that you understand the terrifying danger of the morning cortisol trap, we must uncover the incredible hidden truth about this fascinating beverage. In the medical world, there is a phenomenon experts call the coffee paradox. This paradox represents a complex biological relationship for your aging metabolism. How can a drink that spikes your blood sugar so violently also be the exact same drink that large-scale studies show can actually protect you from diabetes? The answer lies deep inside the complex chemical structure of the coffee bean itself. Coffee is not just a stimulant or a simple caffeine delivery system. It is a highly complex biochemical compound packed with hundreds of powerful bioactive defenders. Among these hundreds of compounds, there are two absolute miracles of nature that stand out to medical science. They are called chlorogenic acid and trigonelline. I want you to think of these two compounds as highly trained microscopic traffic controllers standing guard right inside your intestines. When you drink coffee in the exact right sequence, these compounds do something truly extraordinary for an aging body. They aggressively slow down the absorption of sugar from the food you eat, making it a smooth and tightly controlled process. Instead of a violent surge of glucose rushing into your bloodstream all at once, attacking your organs, you get a gentle, manageable flow that your tired pancreas can handle without any stress. But chlorogenic acid goes even further. And this is where it gets truly miraculous for seniors worried about losing their mechanical independence. In the bodies of older adults, starting right around age 50, there is a natural tragic decline in the mass of the beta cells in your pancreas. These are the specific cells that create insulin. Chlorogenic acid acts as a biological shield for these precious beta cells. It actively protects your metabolic system by drastically reducing something called endoplasmic reticulum stress inside those pancreatic cells. It actually maintains your internal insulin secretion and physically protects the survival of your pancreatic cells against the toxic damage caused by high blood sugar. The results of this biological protection are absolutely staggering. A massive study published in the prestigious journal Diabetes Care, conducted by researchers from the Harvard School of Public Health, analyzed data from more than 1 million people. Their conclusion was breathtaking. Regular coffee consumption is associated with a massive reduction in the risk of developing type 2 diabetes. This is not some small statistical error. The risk decreases in a dose-dependent way, meaning the more cups you drink within a reasonable limit, the lower your risk plummets. Furthermore, researchers from the Karolinska Institute in Sweden reviewed 30 different studies covering nearly 1.2 million participants. They confirmed that coffee consumption is associated with about a 30% reduction in the risk of developing type 2 diabetes. This is the incredible power sitting in your coffee cup right now. But remember, this pancreas-saving magic only works if you do not destroy the chlorogenic acid before it reaches your gut. The way you prepare it and what you put inside it changes absolutely everything. If you have been told that you must permanently abandon the morning coffee you have loved and relied on for decades to save your metabolism, you are being completely lied to. You do not need to give up your identity or the comforting rituals that bring you joy in your golden years. You simply need to deploy a brilliant biological shield known as the protein-first method, combined with one incredibly powerful kitchen spice. This is where we shift from a state of metabolic danger to a state of profound celebration and healing. Your body still has an immense miraculous capacity to adapt and heal itself, if you just give it the right instructions. The very first instruction is resetting your morning timeline. When you open your eyes tomorrow morning, I want you to drink a glass of water and then deliberately delay your first cup of coffee for 60 to 90 minutes. This simple pause is absolutely critical. This specific window of time allows your natural waking cortisol levels to safely retreat from their physiological peak. By simply waiting, you are removing the dangerous stimulation on your liver and almost entirely eliminating those terrifying unintended blood sugar spikes. But the real magic happens right before you take that first sip. You must activate the protein first mechanism. Before the coffee enters your system, you need to consume a high biological value protein, such as scrambled eggs, plain unsweetened Greek yogurt, or a piece of cheese. Why is this so rapidly effective? Because protein acts as a powerful buffer against the violent impact caffeine has on your cortisol levels. The presence of protein in your stomach drastically slows down the gastric emptying process and reduces the speed at which carbohydrates are absorbed. It provides vital amino acids that your liver uses far more efficiently, completely neutralizing the cortisol spike that unnecessarily dumps glucose into your bloodstream. Once you have established this protein shield, you can supercharge your coffee with one specific medicinal spice. I am talking about adding exactly 1/2 teaspoon of true cinnamon powder directly into your cup. This is not just for flavor. True cinnamon, also known as cinnamomum verum, contains incredibly potent polyphenols that possess the astonishing ability to partially mimic the action of human insulin. When you add this one spice to your daily routine, it stimulates your cellular receptors and dramatically enhances the transport of glucose directly into your muscle cells. Imagine what this means for your aging legs and your mechanical independence. Instead of sugar thickening your blood and destroying your circulation, the cinnamon acts as a key, violently opening the doors of your cells so they can absorb that glucose and turn it into pure physical energy. Regular consumption of this simple spice has been proven to contribute to a significant reduction in fasting blood glucose levels. It is a powerful natural ally that costs pennies but delivers life-saving metabolic protection. This is how you reclaim your health, right from your own kitchen counter, without relying on heavy synthetic medications. Stop buying dark roast coffee immediately if you want to protect your fragile heart and save your pancreas. There is a massive and extremely dangerous misconception circulating among coffee drinkers, especially those over the age of 60. We have been brainwashed to believe that a deep, dark roast is somehow stronger, more robust, or superior for our mornings. The terrifying medical truth is that dark roast is essentially dead coffee. The prolonged high-temperature roasting process required to make a dark roast completely incinerates the precise biological compounds your body desperately needs. In fact, dark roast coffee can lose up to a staggering 90% of its protective chlorogenic acid compared to lighter roasts. By choosing dark roast, you are drinking a burnt, empty shell completely stripped of the miraculous compounds that repair your insulin signaling and defend your beta cells. But the horror does not stop at the roasting phase. We must expose the silent heart, destroying danger of how you actually brew your daily cup. If you are drinking unfiltered coffee, such as coffee made from a traditional French press or boiled methods, you are making a potentially fatal mistake for your cardiovascular system. Consuming coffee that has not passed through a paper filter releases dangerous lipid-soluble compounds known as diterpenes directly into your cup. The two most aggressive are called cafestol and coeal. These compounds launch a direct assault on your liver by actively inhibiting a crucial enzyme known as cholesterol 7-alpha hydroxylase. When this liver enzyme is blocked, the consequences for your aging heart are disastrous. It leads to a rapid and dangerous surge in your LDL cholesterol, which is the lethal bad cholesterol that aggressively clogs your arteries and starves your heart of oxygen. It also severely elevates liver enzymes like alanine aminotransferase, multiplying your risk of suffering a sudden cardiovascular complication, especially if you are already battling prediabetes or full-blown diabetes. Furthermore, you must completely eliminate industrialized instant coffee from your pantry. Those convenient little sachets that seem harmless are practically biological weapons against your metabolism. They are loaded with hidden refined sugars, hydrogenated artificial fats, and toxic chemical additives that compromise your entire system. You must prioritize 100% natural ground Arabica coffee that is freshly brewed. And most importantly, always use a standard paper filter, because that simple, inexpensive piece of paper physically traps the lethal diterpenes, preventing them from ever entering your bloodstream. Always choose a light or medium roast to preserve the maximum amount of pancreas-saving chlorogenic acid and completely shield your aging heart. Let us uncover a completely contrarian metabolic secret that could literally save your legs and preserve your mechanical independence for the rest of your life. Most medical professionals will never tell you about the brief, hidden window of time that opens up inside your body exactly when you finish moving. If you walk or do any form of physical activity, you must pay very close attention right now. Within exactly 30 minutes after finishing your daily walk or any light exercise, you have a golden opportunity to force your aging body to clear out lethal blood sugar. During this precise metabolic window, you need to drink a small cup of plain black coffee. When your aging muscles are active or have just finished working, they undergo a miraculous biological transformation. They temporarily become much more receptive to glucose. They actually act like a massive cellular sponge, actively sucking sugar directly out of your bloodstream to use as pure energy. Moving your muscles acts exactly like a drain, pulling that dangerous glucose out of your blood completely independently of your pancreas or insulin. And this is where the strategic use of caffeine becomes an absolute lifesaver. Caffeine introduced at this exact moment drastically enhances this sponge effect, helping those tired muscles absorb glucose even more efficiently than they could on their own. This is a highly potent metabolic window of opportunity that the vast majority of seniors completely miss every single day. By completely ignoring this protocol, you are leaving toxic sugar circulating in your veins where it actively destroys the fragile blood vessels in your calves and feet. That is exactly why so many older adults suffer from that terrifying heavy feeling in their legs and experience sudden unexplained swelling. Your body is screaming for help as its mechanical independence is slowly being stripped away. But by simply timing your coffee consumption right after your daily movement, you create a powerful combination that does not cost a single penny. You do not need to join an expensive gym or endure grueling workouts. Just 30 minutes of moderate-paced walking 3 to 5 times a week, combined with this specific coffee protocol, is more than enough to dramatically improve your insulin sensitivity and protect your mobility. This brings us to what is known as the protection triad for senior health. When you combine this smart timing of coffee with your daily movement, you must also include the third crucial element, which is adequate protein intake at every single meal. Protein is the single macronutrient that has the absolute least impact on your glucose levels, while simultaneously promoting deep satiety and actively protecting your precious muscle mass. Remember that your muscle tissue is your body's largest consumer of glucose. After the age of 60, your internal need for high-quality protein aggressively increases because your aging body becomes significantly less efficient at utilizing it. When these three elements of the protection triad work together, the healing effects multiply exponentially. The carefully timed coffee improves insulin sensitivity. The physical exercise increases the rapid glucose uptake by your leg muscles, and the dietary protein stabilizes your post-meal glucose spikes. Health does not live inside a cold pharmacy bottle. It lives in the small calculated choices you make every single day. We have covered so much ground today, and I want you to take a deep breath and realize how much power you truly hold in your own hands. Your body is not your enemy. Your aging body is constantly trying to balance itself, heal, and adapt to the environment. When your glucose violently rises or when that heavy fatigue simply does not go away, these are not signs of inevitable decline. They are simply desperate cries for help from a body that wants to keep you moving. And often what your body is begging for is not a brand new chemical pill. Sometimes it is just a small, profound change, like adjusting the exact time and way you drink your daily cup of coffee. Let us quickly recap your new life-saving kitchen routine. Tomorrow morning, when you wake up, drink your water and deliberately delay your coffee for 60 to 90 minutes. Break your fast with a powerful protein source like eggs or plain yogurt first. Add exactly 1/2 teaspoon of true cinnamon to your plain light or medium roast coffee. And whenever you take your daily walk, drink a small cup of plain black coffee right after, to force those leg muscles to absorb the excess sugar circulating in your veins. Everything I have described here are complementary lifestyle strategies based on solid scientific evidence, but they do not replace your personal medical evaluation. If you use medication, never change your dosage on your own. Take this information to your doctor and make these adjustments together with professional guidance. Now I need to ask you a massive favor. Do you have a family member, a sibling, or a close friend who struggles with high blood sugar or already has diabetes? Please share this video with them right now. You might be giving them the exact information that could save their life and preserve their mechanical independence. Quality information based on science is one of the absolute greatest gifts we can give to those we love. True health does not live in the pharmacy. It lives in your daily habits. Start with one simple change today, and your future self will endlessly thank you.